what do you do if your wife says to you, I need some space, I need you to move to another place, or I'm going to move to somewhere else, to my mom's place, my parents' place. I need time from you. What do you do? Before I go into the details of what you should do, I want to say to you what you should not do. We have to start with what you should not do. And I'm also going to talk about why this is a major problem. I've noticed from my experience that men usually assume that the marriage is going well for a while, um, after the wife is already been complaining. So many men, in most cases, men I've discovered are usually thinking that it's all right, the marriage is good, and the wife is already saying, look, we need some changes, we need to see the counselor, we need to visit the pastor, whatever, some things are not going well. And men usually catch up when the wife says, I want to leave, I need some space, something is wrong, I am breaking down here. At that point, the man is now wondering, how do I fix this? I want to tell you two things. The bad news is that, yes, by this time, things have gone quite bad. The good news is that that is not the final straw. She is not saying, I want a divorce, I want this to be over. He's only trying to get your attention. So that's the good news. So we can still fix this. But the bad news is that he could have fixed this earlier, because when the woman or your wife tells you, as a believer, a wife that knows God and loves God tells you, I need space, I want you to move out, it means that she has tried a lot of stuff that didn't work. It means that she's been trying to connect with you, to say to you that something is going on. My mind is not able to contain this stress any longer, and I want something to change. She's been saying that for a while, and you're not hearing it. And by the time she says, I want some space, I want you to leave or move to the basement or something, she's actually very stressed, very, very stressed, and she's almost giving up. But she has not given up. When she has given up, she's just going to move away, and she's going to tell you it's over. Now, even then, even when she says it's over, it's still not over. There are still ways to turn things around. We as men are blessed with the grace and the ability to recover a marriage that is broken. It's easier, way easier for a man to recover a marriage that is totally broken than for a woman to do so. But it is much easier for a woman to detect when a marriage is struggling than for a man usually to. Now, none of this is exclusive. It's not perfect. Sometimes it flips. The man is the one that picks it up faster. But from statistics, the majority of men will still think a marriage is doing well when it's already struggling. And the reason why a man panics when your wife tells you, I want some space, is because you know that when you decide that the marriage is over, it's usually over. And so when you begin to hear the wife say this, it's especially when you are thinking that things are good, and now your wife is saying, I want some space, you fear that if I move out or if I move away, this is just going to get worse. When I was in the house and we were trying to fix things, you're not happy. How am I going to be able to fix it when you're not there? That's the panic that you have. That's the fear that you have when you hear that. I'm going to give you some good news here, that even when that is the case, there are things that you must not do to worsen it. It can still go worse. It's not worse. It's not the worst case yet. And first thing I want to tell you not to do when this happens is, do not start to beg her to stay, or say, I'm going to work things out, I'm going to make it right. Do not do that. Do not do that. And you may wonder, why? Why should you not beg and say, please, I'm going to make a lot of changes. Let's do this. Let's try this one more time. Don't do that. Why? Because when you do that, you are reinforcing the thoughts that are in her mind, that you don't listen, and the only reason why you want to change now is because she is telling you that she wants some space. So if you do that, you're going to reinforce that fear, and it's going to make her even more determined to leave. Now, if you are very, very charismatic, you know how to persuade her, you may succeed in persuading her. The only thing that will happen is that if you are not changing, then another 2-3 months down the line, she's going to want to go out again, or she's going to want to have some space again. So you don't want to start begging without having a plan. So what would I suggest you to do? Before I tell you that, I want to also tell you another thing that you should not do. Do not bring up scriptures and say, what type of, don't do that. Scriptures don't allow this. Don't separate from your husband. Do not do that. If you do that, you're also doing the same thing that I said in the first place. You don't care about how she feels. You don't care about the stress that she's going through. You only care about how you look to the public and your religious views, which she doesn't respect anymore. Because if you respected you as a man of God, she would not want to run away from you. So she doesn't even respect your religious views. She doesn't believe that you're following God properly. She thinks that you are a hypocrite and that you only use scriptures for your own good. So if you go ahead at this time to whip up your Bible and begin to try to use it to convince her that she's making a mistake, then you're only reinforcing a wrong thought, a wrong idea. Right? The last thing that I'll ask you not to do at this point is to invoke all your strength to bring in people to pressure her to stay. All of these are in the same line, but there are different things that people have done. So do not at this time say, I'm going to call your mom, call your dad, call your brother or the pastor to convince you. Do not do that, because when you do that, you're doing the same thing. You're trying to show to her that you care more about you and how things are. However, if you want to really get some very good results and transformation, you need to start by accepting that she is struggling. This is where you usually would start from. So whenever anytime your wife tells you, I need some space, you need to move out, you need to go to the basement, or I want to move out, whatever it is that she has said, I want you to take note of two things. Number one, she is struggling. There's no reason why a person will tell you I need space when they're not struggling. And so since you know that she's struggling, you want to address that. The second thing you want to address, you want to take note of, is that God is on your side and he's going to help you if you choose to submit to him as well. So you got to check where you are disconnected from the way God wants things to be. Your wife tells you, I need some space, I want to move to the basement, or I need some space, I need you to go. I've been saying this, I've been saying that, you've been doing this, you've been doing that. The first thing you must do is, number one, listen. So listen to what she says. And if she doesn't say much, maybe she's been saying it all this while, then ask a question. What is it that is going on here? How can you please tell me more about the pain that you're feeling? I understand that you're going through a difficult time. I understand that the marriage is not as joyful and beautiful as we want. Please let me know more of the pain that you're going through. I can imagine that for you to decide that you're going to take some space, or you want some space from me, you don't want me to be in the same space with you for a while, it means that this is really, really important to you. I'm sorry for not acknowledging your pain all this while. Could you tell me more? And I want you to do one more thing in trying to communicate that. You want to show real attention and care. And you may not feel that. That's a challenge. Sometimes you may feel anger. Maybe what you feel is, you know what, I've been doing my best to make sure that this family is well provided for. I've been doing my best to make sure that our children go to the best schools, and you or here she's complaining. Maybe that's the feeling you have. If that's a feeling you have, you may need to take a break, because if you open your mouth and you begin to speak, you're going to say that. And when you say that, it's going to even make the things worse. Now, remember, I'm not trying to say to find who's to blame here. I'm only standing here with a husband that wants to repair their marriage, regardless of whether their wife is wrong or not. Now, once you've done that, the next thing you want to do is to let her know that you are willing to do whatever it takes for both of you to have a great time in your marriage. Now, you may not have been doing that, or maybe you have. Whatever the case, you want to communicate that to her. And how do you do that? You tell her, look, I know that you need space to go get your head in the right place, your emotions in the right place, and you have been complaining about this about me. Now, this is where you begin to hit the right buttons. If you can remember what she's been complaining about, you want to mention that you know them. Now, the third step, which is the most powerful step, is that you tap into the power of God that comes from surrendering your own self to Him. And to do that, you're going to have to accept the areas that you are wrong, just like I said in the previous step. But beyond that, you're going to pour out love instead of reaction to the negative things that you believe your wife has done. I know that there's no person that wants to destroy their marriage. But as soon as you begin to notice that there's a challenge, there's something that is not right in your marriage, you will then be able to surrender that to God. So you bring in the power of God into your life and begin to transform. So when she says that, you cannot help it. She may go. If you change your tone and you calm yourself down, she may choose to stay and give you another opportunity. This is when you begin to tap into aligning yourself properly with God. This is when you begin to tap into aligning yourself with the things that you believe is right in scriptures. You want to tap into all of that. Allow all of that to begin to change you permanently. I have a special offer for you, a masterclass where I'm going to be teaching in more details how to really unleash that love of God that transforms marriages. If you want to register for that, it's going to be free. It's going to be free, and it will be you need to register adesobanjo.com/masterclass. So that's where I'm going to stop here today. May the Lord bless you. Bye for now.